Hello and welcome to another edition of Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, our topic today is how to add interesting elements to a boring sky. Now, we already know how to replace the sky if it's just bad. We know how to enhance the sky. Now what I want to do is show you how we can actually add extra elements to the sky to make it look its best. All right? Well, let's dive right in. Good, so here we are with a good image that we worked with before. I like how she's on the mountaintop, dancing, carefree. The sky itself is just okay. Let's start with a template. From here, clean light is always a good one to go to. Look at that, one click, before and after. It does a very good job. But now let's come in and I want to crop it before I add some extra elements in. So under composition, I'm going to set this to free transform, or free crop rather. And let's bring it in right about here. I like that. There we go. I like this right here, so I'm going to leave that in place. All right. There. All right, so now we have the image prepared, and now what we can do is start adding those little extra elements. So what I want to do is come down to the creative tools, and here we go. Instead of selecting sky, let's select augmented sky. All right. Now, in the past, you've seen me add beautiful birds to this and it looks really cool. But you know what? This time, let's add some clouds. Now you're going to notice when you add the clouds here, well, you know what? We'll stick with this one. What I'm going to do is I can relight the scene based on those clouds. Defocus them just a little bit because these are defocused. But what I want to do is make them larger. Now, dragging from the corners is going to keep everything proportional. If I were to drag from the side, then it's going to stretch the clouds and not make them look as realistic. But look at this. We make it look as if she's dancing and the clouds are right there. I mean, look how cool that is. So, see how we added clouds to a boring sky, and now we made it interesting. So I don't always have to replace the sky itself. I don't always have to try to enhance and add little things, try to enhance it. I can always try to add little things to it to make it look the way it is. So I like how this is. Let's finish off with some of the editing. Now I'm going to come in, and under enhance, we're already there. What I think I want to do is make this a little bit darker. So let's bring the vignette in, select her. That's it, bring it in just a little. All right, that's looking good. I still want to make that a little darker. So I have two options. I can either use the dodge and burn tool, or I can come over here to local masking and let's add a basic tool. And sure enough, here we are. Let's dial the exposure back. Now, the only thing I'm looking at right now is the bottom half. So don't pay attention to the top half. I'll get right about that. That looks good right there. Now you have a choice. I either paint in the effect or just use a gradient mask. And what the gradient's going to do is it's going to slowly fade that effect going in. And then, of course, I can adjust it. Good. No, I didn't mean to rotate it like that. Look, that's good right there. Good. and set. Look at that. Before, after. A couple more things I want to do to this image while we're here. And by the way, Russell just pointed something out. Thank you, Russell. We're nearing the 1 year anniversary of Coffee Break. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, we did start during COVID, during March. So that's interesting. I'll mention that to Angela. Thank you, Russell. And hello from Belgium. Wow. There we go. Get back to it. All right, so here we are again. All right. Okay, so I'm going to come down to the creative tools again. And with the creative tools, portrait tools, I want to trim her body slightly. It looks like it was shot with a wider lens, and the lens could distort her body. So let's bring that in just a little bit. And maybe the abdomen's in. That's it. Give it a couple seconds, and we'll go from there. Any questions? Good. All right. Let me pull this up real quick. While that's processing, a good question. He said, Dear Vanelli, my opinion is to choose the original image without any clouds, because the original clouds and added clouds is not compatible. Okay, that's fine. So, let me get back to it here. All right, so he doesn't like these clouds here with this clouds, and that's fine. Again, all of this is subjective. So what we could do, well, like that. Look at that. By the way, before, after. I'm falling in love with that body AI. But anyways, this is good. Keep in mind, if you feel this and this don't look compatible, not a problem. Because if we come back to the creative tools, augmented sky, you could choose something different. And let's see if it does what I think it's going to do. I hope. Nope. I was hoping it was going to keep that transformation. All right, so we can come back in. Again, let's see what that cloud does. Okay, that's an interesting cloud. So, and forgive me, Ahmed, if I'm not pronouncing your name properly. This may not be your cup of tea, or this may not be your style, and that's okay. But he does have a point. If the sky doesn't match with it, there's a couple things you can do. You can just totally blow it out like this, to where now the sky, no, that's a little too big. You could blow it out to where, actually that's not bad. You could blow it out to where you can make the sky dominate the entire scene, or, look at that. So now it's blending in. Or you could just switch it to something totally different that you feel works in the scene. But actually, you know what? I actually like that. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for bringing that up. So when you're working on something like this, your mind's so zoned in on it that maybe you don't see other alternatives. And just as a little suggestion on saying, hey, it looked like the clouds didn't belong, I just went back, made the cloud even larger, and then by doing that, now it blends. Look at that. Now it's blending in and actually making it look better. But I like this. And when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking somebody could look at this and go, wow, look at those clouds the day you shot this. And how did you get that girl right there? It looks like the clouds were coming towards her. Now, again, it's augmented reality. You're doing this trying to make it look its best. You're finessing it. So you decide what you like and what you don't like. And honestly, I'm looking at this here before, after. Most people will look at this and don't have a single clue that you've added that extra cloud in the scene. All right? Great. Any other questions we have? Let me check. Nope. Oh, you're welcome. Awesome. Nope, that's it. Well, guys, excuse me, that was a real quick lesson. Don't forget the augmented sky when you're applying stuff to things like this. But do me one favor, though. Let me pull it back up. Here we go. One favor I am going to ask, stuff like this, for example. Even though I said it's entirely up to you, sometimes when people start to add, or they go overboard, they add something like this to a scene behind her like that, it's not believable. Let me move it into place. But if you were to move it, shrink it way down, and even then, I'll pop it up in the corner. Yeah, see, even then, it just doesn't, to me, it just doesn't look believable. That thing would have to be really, really, really small. In the corner of the, and even then, it's not that big of a deal where it's at. But a lot of people will start to add, like, things to the scene that just shouldn't be there. Let me just do that again. So with that double edge that I just mentioned, do what makes you feel comfortable, but at the same time, kind of know the boundaries. Let's see, if something like, let's say, fireworks or whatever, it's just like fireworks in the daytime like this just doesn't look natural. Let's see, popping in a planet like this, it just doesn't seem natural. Now, had we have used, let's say, another image, remember the image we had of her with her hands up in the air like she's commanding the birds? You can probably get away with something cute like this or cool like this because now you're definitely making it a fantasy. But like this, to me, it's not going to work. Stick to something, let's see, back to where we were. Stick to something that is at least realistic enough to where you can look at it and think, yeah, possibly that could be there. All right? So, but thank you. Robert. Robert, I'm not going to lie to you. I reached down to that shuttle, I don't know how many times, maybe you were reading my mind. I wanted to show it, but then so many people have been putting that space shuttle in. I don't want to offend anybody. If you like it, that's great. In a case like this, not too much. And by the way, look what just happened. The birds actually got back into the scene, and because we defocus them, it kind of adds to it. So I've been loving these birds. And actually it's inspiring me because we live here in Florida. We have so many seagulls out at the beach that fly like this. I would love to take photos like that and then put them in my augmented skies. All right? Well, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys being here. And I'll see you at the next coffee break.